Two runners stand at the same starting line. One paid $130, one paid $310. Both shoes have the Nike swoosh. Only one was engineered to break a world record. This isn't about money. This is about a ladder. Nike running has 7 rungs. Most runners only ever climb the first 3. By the end, you'll know which one you're on and which one you're not allowed to wear yet. Nike's running line isn't an accident. It's a hierarchy. Each shoe sits at a specific price, weight, and capability. The cheapest one was built in 1983. The most expensive one was built for a man trying to run a marathon under 2 hours. 40 years of engineering, sold simultaneously, on the same wall. Most brands sell shoes. Nike sells stages of a runner you have not become yet. Every shoe here is a version of a future self. The Pegasus is the runner who decided to start. The Alphafly is the runner who decided to qualify. The 7 shoes between them are the gap. That gap is the product. Most people who shop Nike running don't realize they're shopping their own ambition. This video is a map of that ambition. We won't skip a level. We won't recommend the shoe Nike pushes hardest. We'll tell you who each one is actually for. Level 1. The Nike Pegasus 42. $130. 10.1 ounces. 33mm heel. 10mm drop. No plate. React X foam with Zoom Air in heel and forefoot. This is the shoe a new runner buys when they finally commit. It's the shoe a marathoner runs 400 miles in before they touch anything else. The Pegasus is the Roma of Nike. 42 years old, the single best-selling running shoe in the history of the sport. Nike could discontinue every other model and survive. They could not discontinue this one. The Pegasus pays for the Alphafly's existence. Once you can run 20 miles a week in these, the next shoe starts whispering. Level 2. The Nike Vomero. $160. 10.1 ounces. 46mm heel. 10mm drop. No plate. Zoom X stacked on top of React X. 2 foams, 1 shoe. This is the runner who realized the Pegasus isn't quite enough. They've crossed 300 miles this year. Their easy runs got longer. Their joints started asking questions the Pegasus couldn't answer. The Vomero used to be a quiet niche shoe. Nike rebooted it in 2025 with the tallest stack in its daily trainer line. Hoka built a billion-dollar company on stack height. Nike noticed. The Vomero is the moment a runner becomes a hobbyist. But Nike noticed something else about the Vomero. People who weren't running started buying it. Level 3. The Nike Vomero Premium. $200. 11 ounces. Leather upper. Same midsole as the Vomero. Same stack. Same drop. This is the running shoe for the person who doesn't run that much. That sounds like an insult. It isn't. Running has become an aesthetic. The shoe is the credential. Nike watched New Balance own the running shoe as streetwear category for 10 years. Then they built a Vomero with a leather upper and a $40 markup. The leather makes the shoe worse to run in. That is not a defect. That is the product. The customer wears these to brunch and runs in something else. The premium is for the photo. On the same wall, in a different box, is the shoe Nike actually wants you to buy. Level 4. The Nike Zoom Fly 6. $175. 8.5 ounces, 40mm heel, 8mm drop. And here, for the first time, a full-length carbon fiber plate. This is the moment the line stops being a category and starts being a strategy. The Zoom Fly is not Nike's race shoe. It's the first shoe a runner wears that has the plate. That distinction matters. Once a runner feels a carbon plate underfoot, the shoes they used to love start feeling like wood. The Zoom Fly 6 is the cheapest way Nike will sell you that feeling. It exists for one reason: customer acquisition. A runner who buys a Zoom Fly almost always buys a Vaporfly within 18 months. Nike knows this. The pricing reflects it. $175 is just barely on the right side of impulse. The plate does the rest. Past this point, the line gets stranger. Level 5. The Nike Streakfly 2, $160, 6 ounces, the lightest shoe in Nike's running line. Pegasus plate, not carbon. This shoe doesn't fit most runners. It was built for the 5-kilometer racer, the 8-kilometer specialist, the runner who knows their mile split to the second. You can buy a Streakfly. You probably should not run a marathon in one. The Streakfly is the only shoe in this lineup that doesn't try to make you faster. It rewards the speed you already have, most Nike shoes whisper. This one watches. If you can wear it well, you don't need the rest of this video. Level 6. The Nike Vaporfly 4, $285. 6.6 ounces, 40 millimeter heel, 8 millimeter drop. Full carbon plate, Zoom X foam, reformulated for this generation. This is the shoe that triggered a World Athletics investigation. In 2020, the governing body of distance running had to write new rules because of the Vaporfly's predecessor, maximum stack height. One plate, available for retail purchase 4 months before competition. The rules were not written for any other shoe. They were written for this lineage. The Vaporfly is the shoe a runner buys when running stops being a hobby and starts being a project. 6-minute per mile pace. Boston qualifier. Sub-3 marathon. At those numbers, the Vaporfly is not a luxury. It's a tool. Owning a pair tells the people you run with what you intend to do this season. But there's one more rung, and it isn't really for runners. Level 7. The Nike Alphafly 3, $310. 7.1 ounces, 40 millimeter heel, 8 millimeter drop, carbon plate, and underneath that plate, 2 Zoom AirPods, a pressurized spring under each forefoot. The Alphafly 3 is the shoe Eliud Kipchoge wore to run a marathon in 1 hour 59 minutes. Not in competition. The IAAF won't ratify it. But it happened. The Alphafly is not the best shoe for you. It is the best shoe for a person running at a pace that would qualify them for a major. If your marathon pace is 7 minutes a mile, the Alphafly will not help you finish faster than the Vaporfly will. The Alphafly is built for a narrower window than any shoe Nike makes. But owning a pair is not really about the window. The shoe is the proof. The aspiration is the product. Here is what no one in Nike's marketing will tell you. Most runners belong in the Pegasus. A few belong in the Vomero. The Zoomfly is the highest most people should ever climb. Past the Zoomfly, the shoe stops fitting the runner and the runner starts fitting the shoe. The single most common mistake in running is upgrading too fast. A first-year marathoner in Alphaflies is wearing more shoe than their body can use. The plate fires before their stride is consistent. The foam compresses unevenly. The pace is unearned. The second most common mistake is the opposite. A capable runner who has been clinging to the Pegasus for 5 years is leaving 4 minutes on the table over a half marathon. The latter is real. Most people are 1 rung lower than they think. A few are 1 rung higher. The shoe is not the question. The question is which version of yourself the shoe is built for. That version exists or it doesn't. The shoe cannot create the runner. It can only confirm one that is already showing up. Buy the shoe that matches your last 6 months, not the one that matches your imagination. Nike doesn't sell shoes. It sells the runner you haven't become yet. If this was useful, subscribe. I break down how things actually work, not how the marketing describes them. See you in the next one.